Wrestling is theater. It's a fake.
Not really. You're wrong. You're in error.
Why do you think that there are so many who say it is a fake?
It is basically simple. We live in a world which is predominantly directed to live within parameters. You cannot really let loose on your radio or your TV show and say what you like to about the community, the people, the city.
Right.
The newspapers are restricted. Johnny Carson's restricted. Walter Cronkite. There are very few people who you might say really have freedom of expression and are not going to get scolded. If you work for IBM or Control Data and you come to work in a terribly loud plaid jacket, they call you upstairs. It's the gray slacks, the dark blue sport coat, the striped tie, and let's keep it that way.
How do you relate that to the question about
wrestling? The question about wrestling then comes down to the fact that you'll turn TV on and what you're going to see is some guy blowing his horn, patting himself on the back or beating on his chest, doing it in a flamboyant, even outrageous style.
Right.
He may be attired flamboyantly and outrageous, and he's got 250 to 300 pounds of muscle, well-versed in the martial arts to back up his mouth.
Okay, but that,
so
the theater is outside the ring.
Well, but wait, you're saying theater, but what's theater about that?
Well, anybody who dresses in a garish way. I'm not saying that, I don't believe that's wrong, by the way.
Go out on the street.
I totally agree. So all of life is a stage.
You and I are mundane and blah. You've got a dark blue suit on, I've got a dark blue sport coat on.
Yeah.
We're really drab. We shouldn't even be here.
No,
we're not entertaining.
Bear with me for a second. All of life is a stage, so therefore all of life is theater. I guess what I'm asking is within the ring. Now, I'll give you an example. Did you see the hockey game last night?
No.
Okay. In the hockey game, Jack Carlson and Dave Hutchison from the Blackhawks, Carlson from the Twins, thank you, from the North Stars, went at it. They fought for, fisticuffs for about 3 minutes total. And Carlson comes out with, I believe he may even have a cracked knuckle. He ended up with 6 stitches from slicing Hutchison's head open. And Hutchison took a bunch of stitches in the eye, or around the eye. I see the wrestlers going at it. My dad used to be a wrestler. That's why I find it interesting.
Good.
I don't see anybody bleeding.
Well, when you're a professional, when you know what you do, you're supposed to play hockey. You're not supposed to be fighting. If they spend all their time fighting, they know how to hit people and not bust themselves up, and they know to do the best thing they could possibly get hit without getting busted up.
But the point is that if I know that you are going to hit me in the head, or when you see them going at it occasionally, even though they're not supposed to be boxing when they're wrestling, theoretically, there should be some cuts, and but you don't see them.
Take a closer look at my forehead.
Yeah.
What does it look like?
It looked like you had a couple of accidents.
There you go.
But those are accidents.
Oh, they're accidents? What do you mean by accidents?
In other words, accidents happen even though if you and I were rehearsing our wrestling match. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see the point you're trying to make. And
I'm not sure I'm trying to make a point. I'm wondering why all these other people, you've got sports announcers in the Twin Cities who will not have you on their programs or talk to you because they say you're not an athlete. Now, I think you're an athlete, but I don't know whether you're a sportsman.
Paul Harvey proclaims us as the greatest athletes in the world.
Paul Harvey says Reaganomics works. I'm not certain I like the analogy.
Oh, that might be true, too, then. But still, and there are sportscasters who do.
Yeah.
The least number of critics we have, and usually, I always get a kick out of, quote, sportscasters, and when, quote, none of them are ever been those who played the game.
True.
Most critics have never been on stage, whether it's about the movies or theater or musicals, so that most critics are what you call fringe people. They live on the fringe of an element, of something that is important.
Okay.
So that when sportscasters say, well, this isn't this, and whether it's football, wrestling, basketball, whatever.
Agreed.
So few of them have ever participated, but they become the authority. And we fools, maybe us, maybe you, and the humanoids out there, take them to be the credibility ones.
Are you suggesting there is a true sense of competition?
Oh,